producing too many in the way of hard edges. What I'm in danger of getting a very boring bit over here. So if you're painting, it's quite nice to, I tend to get an idea of, quite naturally, of how balanced the composition's becoming, because I'll sketch out an idea of what I want to do, but I'll never be too tied to that. It's been quite intuitive, so you want to keep an open mind. There's nothing worse than, I could spend 2 hours just on this little bit, getting those crags just right, getting the light just right. But if I stand back and it's too dominant next to that, I'll be too frightened to paint over it because I spent 2 or 3 hours on it, you know. So at this stage I want to get it all down, I want to cover the whole canvas and just make judgments as how to do this. So it's interest, 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 and it's all happening too much in the one sort of place. So immediately you want to make, at this stage of the painting you want to make that decision. If I bring something of interest here, if this light source can pass behind this dark cloud and illuminate a light source here, we could start to get some interest across there. But we don't want it to dominate this. So I'm going to try and work that one out. So I need a warm colour. Warm colour, a light colour, and I want to imagine that this section is beginning to light up. I'm putting it in roughly just to see how the balance is here. So
Are you looking at it through half-closed eyes?
Yeah, I do that.
I can see you from here,
You've got it. It eliminates any detail and it judges tones. So at the moment, I'm purely judging that tone against this and this. It's not to be lighter than that, and it's not to be lighter than that, but it's to be light enough to draw your attention. So these kinds of things, and it's just much. If your eyes are completely open, you just see red, and you see this, and you just half shut your eyes, you can just see tone, and then if you need to soften what you've just done, take it out. So I'm either empowering the canvas or refining it. So the empowering stroke comes with the palette knife, and the refining comes with the brush, although the brush can still give you an empowering stroke. Okay, what's missing now is it's starting to get all a bit warm. The cools are completely losing, so the cools are going to make a comeback. And then after that, I think I probably will change up because it's ready to get to the drying stage, and then I would refine it after that. So I'll pull out some nice thick and pastel blue, and once the blue comes on, we'll be able to judge the other colours, because blue is kind of missing on the colour wheel, and a nice balance. So, palette knife, and soft mixing white, a nice chunk of it, and I don't have Okay. I would clean it off, but then that would, I don't want to watch me cleaning a palette.
Are you deciding that blue has to go into it because it's a cool colour?
Yeah.
What happens if you get a painting that really is mostly watercolours? Is that?
It's just the way I'm working it. I evolved the painting through judging my warm colours against cool. I want contrast to exist. I also want some kind of idea that there's no cloud cover here, that this light emanating from here. There is a trace of blue sky which will come in sort of this direction, and it's just purely to give I'm using it to give balance. And it's not to say that you can't miss out all blues and just go ahead and do a really warm painting. And you'll probably find, looking at some of my paintings there, some of them are very much warm dominant. Very rarely do a dominant cool painting. I like to keep the warm colours. Tends to be the only reason why I paint a lot of sunset type paintings. Because I just like to keep the warm colour. But yeah, that's all I'm thinking about at this stage, because I can adjust it all later on. Doesn't matter. But you can see that as soon as that blue's on, you can start to see the difference between it and the other colours. You start to see the other colours as brighter because it's not as blue as that blue there. So that blue actually looks very, very bright blue because it's against colours that aren't blue. It's just you're constantly trying to compare one colour against another. But also because I want to accentuate the edge of this, and it'll be accentuated against blue, it won't be accentuated against the current background, so it's going to come in handy there. It's all the one tone at the moment, but that'll get adjusted. Soften where I need to soften and keep the textures where I want the textures to be kept.
Yes.
Now just describing gaps between the much thinner, sort of lighter cloud cover, which is more like almost mist or just atmospheric densities. And then I think there's going to be a gap in this cloud. I've got this entire boring bit here, so I just get some sort of, yeah, that'll be a gap in that cloud there. You just bury that. And then we don't want it. This is a suspicious edge here. So we can get rid of the suspiciousness of that edge. So I'm all for just going with what the paint wants to do and then refining what those empowering strokes have done. Quite often they don't behave themselves and you've got to so I'm now starting to define a few hard edges here. Whereas before I just wanted to soften, just get the area where it's taken up, and then it's allowed me, I'll harden that edge, and I'll probably harden this edge down here. It's an interesting edge. I won't harden the entire edge from there to there. It'd be too boring, it'd be too obvious. You want people to fill in the links, fill in the missing bits. Just that. Cool down my headland. Lighten the headland. Actually, if that headland gets too light, it's going to be too obvious an edge between it and that, because that's a contrast there, and I'm saying to myself, I don't want too much contrast here because I don't want it to compete with this, so that's why that would just get set it off in that.
Scott, as you paint, your canvas is moving, just turning away from the scratch.
Is it?
You couldn't just pull it back with it, could you?
Yeah, I get it now. So now what I'm able to do is instead of darkening my colour, I've got a dark colour next to it, and I want to soften the edge, so I would just be picking up on the colour that's next to it and painting up to that line. And that's a nice soft edge, and it's a soft edge because the paint's still wet and it's been painted with a filbert brush as well, so there's not a definite edge to it, so it's nice and soft. But it's probably harder than a lot of the edges, aren't they? Bit of negative space. Thin on thick paint is going to create a nice picture. Rather than paint details, I'm trying to describe textures. Textures are going to create the illusion of detail, so that I'm not being too literal about it and people see things that aren't actually there. Seeing things that I believe are there. Some of these rocks will disappear into the background. So again, I'm picking up on the paint that's on the canvas and create a softer edge to it. And what happens down below happens up above as well, so we'll grey out this cloud. I'm gradually covering a lot of this red, and I want to be careful I'm not covering up too much in this bit because it's describing a nice warm light. But what I will do is get back to red later on. It's almost like it'll come full circle. And at the end of the painting, hopefully somebody looking at it won't be quite sure if I painted that bit of red at the start or at the end of the painting. Job's done then. I don't think I'm going to get in too far into the detailing here because I want to spend a lot of time on that and just get it just right. There'll be very few brush strokes, but the brush strokes that go down are going to have to be calculated exactly. So because I haven't drawn it, it's going to help with the freedom of the brush stroke that goes on, but it's not a case of that'll do. I'm not concerned about the detail. I'm not concerned about detail, but I am concerned about accuracy when it comes to the exact way that works. So that's the kind of boring bit, I think. So